Hello and welcome to another episode of Bodied, a Cloud9 fan cast. We were gone last week, and in that break, we were awarded with a lot of news, and we're going to get to it. I'm joined, of course, by my co-host Frozen Creek. How's it going?
It's going good. When I agreed to a 2-week break, I didn't anticipate the whole world to blow up. So, as you said, we got a lot of news for you today. Halo, Valorant, CS:GO, League of Legends, and even a little bit more. So I'm excited to get to it. Anything exciting going on for you?
Today is my dad's birthday. I've been chilling at my
Oh,
dad's house this week.
nice.
We're probably going to go out to eat tonight. Tomorrow we're seeing Doctor Strange, so that's going to be sick.
Ooh, nice. Did that just come out?
It's technically coming out like tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it comes out on quote unquote Friday, aka at midnight.
Well, technically, like Thursday. Like I think because like there are show times for my theater for like 8 o'clock. I think.
Okay. Yeah. I used to work at a movie theater in high school, and as they around the time I was about to leave, they switched to doing midnight shows for big movies.
Yeah.
And then they pushed them up to like 10, and
Yeah, they
maybe
keep
it's
kind
up
of
to
doing
around like
earlier for early
eight now.
releases. Yeah.
So like, who knows? Maybe next will be a Wednesday at midnight release.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to see.
But I mean, it makes sense. Who wants to go watch a movie at midnight and go to work on Friday?
No, exactly.
So nice. That'll be fun. I honestly know nothing about it, but is this the one with Benedict Cumberbatch?
Yeah, Bumblebee Cabbage Patch plays the titular Doctor Strange.
Nice.
This is the second Doctor Strange movie, which is really funny because there is like a lot of other stuff that Doctor Strange was in between Doctor Strange 1 and this one, so it's really funny.
Oh, like comic wise?
No, like story wise for the MCU movies. Like
Yeah.
he's been like basically like supporting like secondary cast like character for like a bunch of the other Avengers movies and like the Spider-Man movie and all this other stuff. So now he's finally getting like his second movie, which is pretty funny.
Nice, nice. Yeah. I'm not even sure I've really watched any of them, but I'm sure they're good.
Oh, there's so much lore. You're missing so much lore.
I I believe you. But speaking of lore, I have nothing on that, but I do have something on Apex Legends.
Okay, fill me in.
So the Apex Legends competed in their first LAN in 3 years over our break. They ended up finishing 10th in the grand finals round. So overall, not bad.
I was keeping up with it on Twitter. They were crushing it through every other stage of the event, which is really nice. Like it's unfortunate, especially since one of their team members got sick. And yeah, like they tested positive for COVID, like literally right before the event was going to start. So like they had to get a sub.
Yeah, that hurts.
Which was really unfortunate. But the team did really well. Like they were crushing it. They were consistently placing high and advancing through like every stage that they were playing in. And it was just the grand finals. They had a bad day finally, and I mean, top 10 is still pretty good for these kind of events. It sucks that they didn't get higher, especially when they were placing much better in like the other stages. But the team still played well, amidst kind of the adversity of it all. So I'm glad that they played really well and they had a good time, and hopefully they can do just as good, if not better, in another event.
Oh yeah, I I I I hope there's more coming up soon because the LAN events are always like 10 times
Oh yeah, it's way more fun.
more exciting, especially if there's fans and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Adds way more hype to it.
Yeah, yeah. But I do have some lore frozen for you. Speaking of the Wild Rift team, who was eliminated from the WNS Championship, we played Suzaku Gaming in the upper bracket, and then we lost to Ailish in the lower bracket. But some interesting lore, and I'm pretty sure I hadn't mentioned this on the show before. If I did, I honestly can't
I
remember.
don't think so.
I don't think I have, but one of our players in the Wild Rift team, Old School, is none other than Vainglory Championship winner in top 3 Worlds Final, Vainglory Worlds placement player. Old School. He was our
Yeah.
Vainglory player.
It makes a lot of sense.
It does.
Knowing that, because that Vainglory squad was dominant.
I was such a fan of the Vainglory team. I still talk about the Vainglory team.
Yeah.
I miss
that
the
was a fun
Vainglory team. I'm glad that we have him back. Like, as soon as I learned it was the same Old School from the Vainglory team, I was like immediately watching like every match that we were playing. Because I felt more invested in the Wild Rift team after.
Oh yeah. I wish Tarzan wasn't jungler, but
The team plays all right. In this event, we
Yeah.
played okay. It was like we would keep the gold fairly even, and it looked like we would have opportunities to come back in the game. But then it seemed like through the mid game, when we would try to actually initiate fights, everything would just fall apart, and then we would just lose. So I don't know if that's like a team fighting
Yeah.
ability. I'm not sure.
where have I seen that before?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's like a team fighting ability with this team, or if it's some of the drafts were kind of weird. Some of them felt I can't remember what they were specifically, but I couldn't. Some of the drafts that we made kind of bugged me. It felt like I don't know, like what you're going to accomplish with putting these particular champions on your team. Like I don't know how they gel well together. Like Wild Rift is kind of slightly different from regular League of Legends, so it could be that like in Wild Rift these champions are just better. I don't know, but sometimes our draft was kind of weird. It's kind of a bummer that we got knocked out. I hope that we can see them play again, because now that I know that we have Old School, I want to watch them more.
Oh yeah. I think their last match was a couple weeks ago, so hopefully they'll be back at it sometime soon.
Yeah. But moving on to some somewhat disappointing news. Mango, our boy, had kind of another bad finish at an event. He finished top 16 at Pound Series, and Mango's kind of been struggling lately, from what I've noticed.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it was straight from him, but there were rumors at least of him being kind of burnt out of Smash.
Yeah, I saw some of those. I think he said that he was going to try to take a break from stuff so he can try to like get himself, reoriented, which I think is totally understandable.
Oh yeah, he's been playing Smash probably since it came out.
Yeah, he's been playing this game forever. And I can only imagine as being
Yeah,
like
it was a decade ago.
being a pro Smash player, like you don't get a lot of days off, I imagine, because you're constantly trying to make sure that your muscle memory and everything is sharp. So when you're playing against someone who's really good, you have somewhat of a chance of beating them. So I can only imagine like how tirelessly he probably has to like do stuff. So to like take a break is probably needed. Hopefully he can bounce back, and in a few months or so, just get back in the old fighting spirit.
Yeah, and if top 16 is Mango at his worst, then I'm hoping that this break will set him back up for success.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess we can continue some slight disappointments here with Halo up next.
I wouldn't say Halo's a slight disappointment. I mean, I guess it is a slight disappointment.
Yeah.
So Halo was in the Kansas City Major, big event, big deal. The team
first LAN event too.
Yeah, first of LAN event too. The team was absolutely crushing it, except when they played against Sentinels. In Sentinels, it was the same thing. Like Sentinels was pretty much crushing every single team that they were going up against. We only really struggled with Sentinels. I believe every other team that we played against, we won 3-0. So it's not like we were playing bad. I view it as Sentinels were just playing better. Because from what I watched and what I observed, the team was on it. It was just Sentinels was just a cut above in this event. They obviously crushed every single team that they played against, and there's no shame in losing to the best team of the event, especially when you get second, right? I think that's I think getting second is something to be proud of for our first LAN event. And we're still a really great team, so I'm not too upset at how things went.
Yeah. I did see some of the grand finals. I wasn't watching it intently because I don't understand the game, but it felt like Sentinels was playing their game on like 1.2 speed because they just seem so much faster and sharp.
Yeah, I saw a few other people saying that too. That Sentinels looked like they were moving around the map a lot faster than Cloud9 and the other teams there. So I can only imagine how difficult it was to play against something like that when you're just making map rotations and everything much quicker. I can only imagine how difficult that is.
Yeah, so I guess maybe not a disappointing finish, but not the finish they were looking for after the run that they had to get into Kansas City. But it honestly looked like a lot of fun. Kansas City's a cool city. I've been there twice, and I enjoyed going there. So I'm hoping they had a blast at least.
Yeah, hopefully so. Hopefully they got some tasty barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to Valorant, Cloud9 White, our lovely Cloud9 White team. They were playing in the VCT qualifier and tried to make a run of it, but they fell short against Genji and Girl Kissers to tie for 25th through 32nd place.
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch those games.
But I watched the early games, but I didn't see the Genji or Girl Kissers ones. But I honestly don't think it's that bad of a qualification for them. They ran into Genji and lost, which is nothing to like be upset about. But VU1 was also at this tournament, and there were quite a few high-powered rosters there. So maybe making it one more round would have been nice, but I don't feel like it's a complete disappointment either.
No, yeah, and I mean the C9 White tries really, really hard. It's not like they're slacking off, and I know Mel put out some big message about her goals or something. I can't remember what all it said, but it seems like she's committed to continue to try hard and to really try to get the team to break out in these co-ed kind of tournaments, which I think is really the goal for this team right now, because they're crushing it in the women's only tournaments. So it's not like they're bad. I think they're maybe just playing against competition that they're not used to playing as much because they're having to play against a lot of other teams, and some of these teams that they're playing are like Genji, for example. But I think I honestly believe in them. I think if they can really just continue to practice and improve, they can probably get top 16 at least.
Yeah, and the core of the squad's been the same. They're not a new addition at this point, but who is it? Annie?
No, Annie's been with the team for forever.
Who's the new one?
There's a new one?
Who took over for Katie?
I thought it was maybe like Katsumi had to step away and Katie.
Oh yeah, Katsumi's step.
Yeah, Katsumi had like school, and so Katie stepped in. And then that crazy stuff with Katie happened, and then Katsumi got slotted back in.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw Katsumi was there, so
yeah,
I didn't even think about that. Okay.
Yeah, this has been the same squad for like a while.
Okay. Outside of that weird blip with Kate.
Yeah.
Who was cracked, but also not
Yeah.
a very good person. But I feel like they've made some big improvements in the past couple months since they last played an open qualifier, but can't quite crack top 16 yet. But if they were to beat Girl Kissers, they would have been top 17 to 24 ish. Which is still pretty good for them. Now, we just you need to get them more games.
No, yeah, I agree. I think the more games they get to play, I think the better they'll be able to improve. So I agree with that.
Yeah, if it feels like they play like once every other month. So more games would definitely help their development too.
Yeah, for sure.
But speaking of development,
Frozen.
we have completely skipped that for this announcement.
After almost like probably 400 plus days, Cloud9 is back in CS:GO, baby.
Yeah, Cloud9 has bought the third place team in the world, Gambit, the old Gambit roster.
Yeah, I had saw that rumor, I think maybe like a week or two before the announcement was placed. But I wasn't like too excited because it's like, oh, it's just a rumor. You know, people throw around Cloud9 signing a team like all the time. So I wasn't like too high on it. But when I saw that we actually did get Gambit, I was actually pretty excited because I heard they were really good. And we're just getting an entire roster. It's not like we have in the past where we are trying to like, you know, put together like, oh, we're gonna put together, this squad of like different people from different teams, and we're gonna try to make it work. And it's the synergy is there, the skill is there. We have them all together, coaches and players included, all under the Cloud9 banner, and they're going to play for us. I feel it is a much more ideal situation than we had in the past with the Colossus attempt.
Yeah, that was still unfortunate.
I'm still so sad that didn't work out.
Yeah. The only thing that sucks about all this is that they're going to be an EU-based team and not an NA roster, which is good for them, but bad for us Cloud9 fans who have been NA fans for so long.
Look, as long as we win, I don't care where they're from. They could be from Mars.
They effectively are, because most, if not all of them, are from.
Oh yeah, Russia, I'm actually looking at Wikipedia right now.
I was gonna say I don't know their names.
I was so it's Nafani, Shiro, Inters, Axel, Hobbit, in the coach's Groove.
Huh.
And Hobbit is the only one that isn't Russian. Hobbit is from, I believe it's Kazakhstan. Yeah, he's from Kazakhstan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I'm excited.
That's where Borat's from, right?
Yeah, that's where Borat's from.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm really excited though. I'm excited we got this team. We've been away from CS:GO for a while, and I wasn't like the biggest fan of CS:GO, but it always felt like something that's been a part of Cloud9, and like just watching Cloud9 CS:GO matches is something that you do as a Cloud9 fan. When you don't have CS:GO, it's kind of like, oh well, we used to do that.
Oh yeah, and it definitely helps when they're more successful than not. So the special squad will always have a place in my heart, but this new roster will be competing at the PGL Antwerp Major in Belgium, I believe, sometime this month. So I don't know if they were going to be able to compete due to Russian sanctions, and that's how we got them on a relatively cheap deal. But so we will be able to see him in action sometime soon.
Yeah, the tournament officially starts on the 9th. I'm not sure.
Oh wow. So next week.
Yeah,
Or,
I'm not.
yeah, next week.
Yeah, I'm not sure when specifically we play. Um, but I am really looking forward to it. Everyone in the Discord is really hyped. Counting down those days. I believe Overwatch League also starts next week or this weekend.
Oh.
Also,
Okay. I missed that piece of.
yeah, everyone has overlooked Overwatch League. Let me hold on. I'm looking up right now just to make sure when it actually starts.
I did see that you can get an Overwatch 2 beta by watching certain streamers for like 3 hours. I watched one for like 10 minutes, or well, I didn't actually. I didn't watch. I put it on my phone while I made dinner, but I didn't actually watch it.
Okay, so we literally play.
Beta,
the London Spitfire literally plays this Friday. So for you
okay,
Overwatch fans,
what time? And against who?
On Friday, May 6th at 3 p.m. Eastern, the London Spitfire will be playing against the San Francisco Shock. And then
5v5 and everything.
I think so. I think we're going. I think they're playing under like a special, fancy, like beta version of 2. And Sunday. Sunday, May 8th, we will be playing against the Vancouver Titans at the same time. So 3 p.m. Eastern. So if you guys have really missed Overwatch content, watch our boys.
Yeah, as long as the game is mostly the same, I'll be able to watch. If it's completely, if there's like 5 or 6 new heroes that get picked, then I might be out. But I'm gonna try and watch because I've nothing going on at that point. I don't think so.
Yeah, from what I've heard, the Overwatch 2 beta fixes some things, but does not fix other things.
Yeah, like Blizzard's inability to commercialize an esport.
It does not fix that.
Yeah.
It does. They did make like Orisa, for example, more fun. So she's not. You don't just sit there behind a shield anymore. You actually have to do stuff.
Oh, that sucks.
I know.
I liked her because she was stupid easy.
Exactly. That's why I mained Orisa. It was so easy. You just put your shield down and you shoot at things, and then when your shield cooldown goes off, you can move up a bit and put down a new shield, and you're just slowly moving the battle line up. It's so easy. That's what I did all the time.
Yep. And then play Lucio, so you either run fast or heal, and if someone doesn't need to run,
if one isn't working, just switch to the other.
Yeah, exactly. 2 good champions or heroes.
It doesn't matter. They don't care.
True.
But yeah, tune in for that. League of Legends. Let's move on over to League of Legends and talk about all of the news that was dropped onto us over our break.
Yeah, so
there's a lot that happened.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but in a way I still am.
I'm kind of the same way. I'm like, I kind of saw this coming, but at the same time I'm like, how did this happen? Why did you do this?
Yeah, so if you've been living underneath a rock for the past
month,
a week or so, Fudge is going back to top lane. Jensen is apparently going to be the new mid lane, or after they teased G2's EU Masters.
Our boy is coming home. The prodigal son returns to his rightful place.
And then Sven takes a weird role change and swaps to support. I still
don't get that.
Summit, Winsome, and Isles are off the team, and Destiny is taking over the support role.
I think the biggest thing that confuses me is really the support position, because Fudge going back top makes sense. Like Fudge, he wasn't a bad mid laner. Like Fudge did what he needed to do in that he played his Vayne well to where the enemy mid laner didn't scale too far ahead, and Fudge scaled accordingly and did damage in team fights. That's what Fudge did, but Fudge was not really a mid laner that could really carry the ball a lot of times. Like, he only had a few games where he was actually carrying the team, and a lot of times it felt like a passenger, um, just kind of along for the ride. So this kind of makes sense. Like, I can understand that. Like, Summit was really struggling to break out of like the 2 or 3 champions that he normally played, and switching Fudge back up to a role that he is actually intimately familiar with, and then bring in Jensen, who not only like knows how to play his role well, and is a really good mid laner, but he knows and understands sort of the Cloud9 way of doing things. So that makes sense to me. The support role is just the thing that boggles my mind, because like, we have Winsome and Isles, who are 2 players that you can really develop here. You know, like, especially after, you know, the championship where EG took JoJo and Danny. You know, these NA talents that needed some work. They have like these really great players because they fostered them and nurtured them and allowed them to kind of grow and gave them a chance. And to me, it just feels kind of weird that we're letting Winsome and Isles just kind of go after just giving them a chance to play on the LCS team for a split, for Isles literally only like maybe 2 weeks, after Isles has dedicated himself to being on the academy team for multiple splits. I feel that we're just kind of doing them a disservice and not allowing them to grow and show us their full potential. You know, they kind of did stuff, and then we're like, okay, instead of you 2 that you've made this role and you have a lot of potential, we're going with our we're going with our AD carry player, and he is going to role swap to support, and he's never done this before, but he is going to be our guy now. To me, that kind of just doesn't make any sense, and I'd be actually a little insulted if I was Winsome or Isles.
I think that the biggest question mark in that whole series of events is dropping Winsome from our squad in general.
Yeah.
I think that he would have been a good addition to our academy squad if he was willing to do that for the rest of the year. Maybe he wasn't willing to do that, and they wanted to, and he wanted to go back home or something, which would also make sense. But it really just felt like he wasn't prepared for the level of play at LCS quite yet. So it's weird dropping him. I will say that Jack and management have never shied away from promoting someone that they felt like had more potential than the person currently playing that spot. No, the main places that's happened is top lane, but also with Blabber. So from Impact to Licorice to Fudge and Fudge again. So I guess if management didn't believe that Isles would be a better short or long-term solution than Sven, that would be why they decided on Sven. Plus, Sven has won trophies. He's played in World's Finals. He's been on the team a while, and it's not like support's
No, yeah, support is not like I was gonna bring this up, not to cut you off, but like I will say, I guess the one good thing about Sven being support is that it is a lane that he knows all the matchups on, and it's really he has mechanics, so he can still leverage those mechanics, and it's more just about switching from fighting and focusing on damage and more focusing on peel, vision, and maybe communicating overall what's going on the map. And maybe Sven's comfortable with that. Maybe the team has played some with him in support, and they go like, hey, Sven's really good at this, and and I think other AD carries have transitioned over to support before, and it's worked really well for them. It just feels really weird, right, to go from supporting one role swap with Fudge and that semi kind of working out, kind of not, to then supporting another role swap like this. It just feels really, really odd.
Yeah, but it isn't quite as big of a change going yeah, from AEDC to support. Um, it's not like a huge difference. Like there's only like 4 champions that get played, like 4 or 5, like Nautilus, Alistar, Leona, maybe some Lulu, Nami. So
Yeah, yeah, that's the biggest question
he
I
doesn't
have
have like a
is
ton to learn, and he knows what an AEDC needs
yeah, yeah,
in
this
game.
is really true. I was going to kind of question what his champion pool actually is and kind of what it consists of, because you do kind of have a few different varieties. Can he play the Enchanter? Can he play the hook engager like Thresh and Leona and Nautilus? Can he play Alistar? That kind of thing. Because like there's a few different flavors of support. There are even carry supports kind of like Pike and a couple others, I guess. But the Pike isn't really played that much, at least right now. But yeah, it's mostly there's just a lot of question marks around it because there's just small things that I'm really curious about. Like, what does he play? How does he? Is he more like a roaming thing, kind of like what Vulcan does, where he leaves lane a lot and he'll be leaving Berserker alone to go support other lanes and do like surprise ganks and stuff in mid and top? Is he going to be maybe more babysitting Berserker and staying in lane with him? What's the deal? How does he play with Berserker? A lot of questions like that. I am really happy that we are keeping Berserker, by the way, because Berserker is he's very
He's
good,
so good. Yeah.
and I was going to be really upset if we lost him.
Oh yeah, and I think him working with Sven each day is going to be good good for his yeah, development too. Sven has played AD carry at the highest level before,
Yeah,
so he'll be able to help out Berserker also.
yeah, I agree. I think yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I'm really curious to see how things go. I think if we're going to do any boot camping, I really want to see at least like some streams or something of them playing together, just to kind of see how they interact. But we'll have to
Yeah.
see. We'll have to see when the summer split rolls around.
Yeah,
MSI
Sven's
is going to be going on for a little bit, so we kind of have some time
yeah.
to kind of wait.
And Sven's always been a professional about the game himself and the team. So I have no doubts that if any of the changes, yeah, that he's gonna work hardest to make it work. So
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that one thing that I've always liked about Sven being on the team is that Sven he's really good at communicating on how things did wrong, like what can be done to improve, and a lot of other stuff. So I think that you kind of need that voice on the team to be like, look, we fucked up here, we got to do this next time, or like we got to like look for other, I think he's really good at expressing himself, and I think that's really valuable.
oh yeah, I agree too. The reason you don't like Sven, is kind of the reason I don't like Jensen, mid. Like, obviously he's a better mid laner than Fudge was.
Right.
I don't really think there's many questions about that. Plus Jensen's been at a higher level than Fudge has ever, or Jensen has reached a higher level than Fudge has ever reached in top or mid lane. But to me, it just kind of feels like throwing Jensen in mid is a way to save face partially for the roster moves.
Oh, that were happening.
Yeah, in spring.
Yeah.
And as like, we need to make worlds, and this is our easiest way to do it, rather than making decisions to move Cloud9 forward for the future.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I personally like the Jensen move, just because he's familiar with how Cloud9 works, and I think when he was playing on Team Liquid before he got replaced by Bjergsen and he took like that he had to basically not play for spring. Um, I think he improved since he played on Team Liquid. When he made that move, he played a lot. He was able to improve and play better than he did on Cloud9. So hopefully he can take what he's improved on and learned and bring it back to us. I've always liked Jensen as a player. He was always very entertaining. He did have some issues with kind of clutching out in high stress moments. But other than that, I think he's a really good mid laner. Like, he's always been a contender for the top of the top in at least North America, and he's always done well internationally as well. So I think signing Jensen is a good move, and plus it's, I think for how the market for players is right now, it probably would have been difficult to get a mid laner of that kind of caliber quickly and easily. So I think that Jack probably made an offer that pleased a lot of different parties when getting Jensen.
Yeah, I think so too. The initial rumors were that Cloud9 was going to get random from G2's Masters team, and I was kind of looking forward to that because he seemed like a very moldable, talented, and willing to play interesting stuff.
Mm. Yeah, I had heard
allegedly
that.
wanted to do.
Yeah, I had heard that as well. I heard like it was a mix of either it was going to be copy or random. I was kind of hoping for copy because copy has been with us for a while, and I was kind of feeling like, well, he plays well enough and he's been with us for a while. We should give him a shot. But random also was kind of interesting because I heard he was very flexible in playing a lot of different picks, which
he does.
Which I always find, and copy's the same way, which I always find intriguing. But with how we have been playing, we don't really maximize flexibility a lot, so it may be kind of just a wasted talent. But we'll have to see for summer. I think there hasn't been any rumors or changes about coaching staff, so this will be unequivocally, this will be Max's team, and Max and Revan will be coaching this team for a full split without having any sort of weird interruptions or difficulties. So I'm curious to see what Max can actually do with the team for a full split without having to kind of have weird hiccups and having to try to pick up the ball and deal with weird situations that he probably wasn't prepared for.
Yeah, and an MSI break could do him a world of good for his mental to deal with being a head coach too.
Yeah. I think getting
it's tough to learn and change on a week by week basis.
Yeah,
having time to
and I think
reflect is big.
I think just having the prep time to actually to actively work with your team and focus on making changes for your team, I think is very good. It's something that he didn't really have an opportunity with for spring, and he was kind of having to pick up the pieces and just take whatever he had. And that's not an ideal situation. And we still did get top 4 with what happened. So it's not like it was a complete disaster or anything by any stretch, but sometimes it wasn't ideal. But I'm looking forward to seeing what we can actually do with some consistent prep time and consistent, like, okay, here's what we're going to do this split. Here's the plan. It's not going to get altered. We're going to do this. Some consistency is probably good.
Yeah, I agree too. I think Max has a bright future in coaching, and there's only one way to learn, and that's to fail. So I'm hoping he can learn a lot from last split.
Yeah, I hope so too. And I think it's trending towards he definitely is. He probably picked up a lot from just spring and how being a head coach kind of functions, and also sort of what kind of needs to be done to make sure you're consistently succeeding. But we'll just have to see. I don't really have anything else unless you have anything.
No, I think that's about it. The Fudge move is, I don't know. it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. I'm sad that Summit's gone, but
yeah.
I kind of understand it also.
Oh yeah, and Fudge has played top before. It's not a mystery to him, so
Yeah.
he'll do just fine.
Yeah, I think he'll do better. And looking at how Summit kind of played, Fudge kind of has a larger champion pool as well.
Yeah, definitely. The official roster announcement should be sometime next week. If there's anything crazy that happens with that roster announcement, we'll come back. But if not, probably see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Again.
Also, thanks